To start things off, what makes NFTs NFTs? Four things, right? So transparency, indivisibility, transferability, interoperability. This is what makes them unique. And their uses can be broadly in two buckets, secular or broad. When I say secular, these are limited to ecosystem or NFT projects. When I say broad, these are applications for humanity at large. So secular could be staking, exclusivity, redeemable benefits, stuff like that. Broad are large human applications. So these could be ticketing, voting, real estate, ID, authentication. That's phase two. We're right now in phase one, which is secular ecosystem-specific use cases. So how do we move to phase two is sort of function of tech, and with that will come the adoption. So where are we in terms of tech? This is, I'm trying to move this slide, yes. So this is where Web 2 tech curve has evolved. By that I mean there's a constant handshake of app and infrastructure. So this app infrastructure cycle constantly moves on as the apps develop. It breeds the need for infrastructure, which inspire a few apps. And there's a time for everything, because YouTube could not happen in 1995. It had to happen in 2005 because broadband had to develop in 2000s for that. This is essentially what Danny Grant and Ross Graceman came up with USB about 5 years ago with the paper called Myth of Infrastructure Cycle. This is universal. So where are we in terms of Web 3? Lots of L1s, L2s, rollups, CKs, wallets, browsers, extension. But really, where are the apps? Where are the users? And when we develop a lot of infrastructure divorced from apps and divorced from use cases, we have sort of barren lands. And this is what we want to avoid. This is something that has happened across, beyond tech cycles as well. So we've had a lot of aeroplanes, which then inspired the need for airports, which is infrastructure. We've had a lot of electric bulbs developed first, which then inspired the need for large-scale electric grids. In crypto, in Web3, where we are at that very juncture, where we have lots and lots of infrastructure, but we need the apps. And this is my lovely friends, where NFTs come in. So NFTs enable apps and adoption. Because this is a new game and it's got new rules. With simple tools done right daily, such as content, virality, engagement, NFTs can enable adoption like no other. Some of the best crypto founders, Web3 people you see on Twitter are not KOLs, but actually the founders running the projects themselves. So a little bit more, in terms of my mental model, the way I look at it, is that the first wave of Web3 was largely designed around the fungible tokens. So all of the gains were, the core asset value accrual came back to their fungible tokens. Then came the next wave perhaps, which was sort of a blend of NFTs and fungible tokens together. And we're gradually shifting to a place where the top designer, where if you remember the 90s, early 90s, the top game designers would put a banner on top of their websites and would actually raffle iPods to the players. You know what? NFT giveaways and NFT raffles are not very far from that. So we are coming to that phase, that third phase, where we come to a sort of NFT factory model. So a little bit more on that. But first, this is how my mental model has evolved, very simply from Web 1, Web 2 to Web 3, so which is where we have tools of NFTs powered with what is happening with AI across the space. This is something we've used in our own products and platforms as well, as I'll double click on in a minute, especially with our NFT platform more and our AIGC tool. So Now, how all of this theory translates into action from ourselves being Find Satoshi Lab, into our products is as follows. So the first point of contact is bells and whistles, of course. Gas Hero. We believe gaming is going to be one of the major adoption reasons for people to come on Web3 rails. And for gaming in Web3, NFTs are going to be not just a feature, but the future. This is where our new game called Gas Hero will play. It's at the intersection of social, Web3, and strategy. We've learned a few things from our Power App Stepin on how to make the economy sustainable by fixing asset surplus, on how to include social gameplay, which is very important, and third, and most importantly perhaps, how to improve the game experience itself. A little bit of alpha, we just rolled out or started the community testing. There are about 3,000 spots, so please do check out our Twitter at Gas Hero Official on more details on how to find a spot to test in the game. The second one is more, it's an NFT platform. So the way we think of FSL is a combination of front-end and back-end applications. The front-end applications are the ones that face the users, the consumers. So, which is where we have Stepin in lifestyle space, which is where we have Gas Hero in gaming space, and there is something coming up on social space next year. On the back-end space, we build infrastructure to support these front-end apps. So we've got our own DEX, which is called Door, and we've got our own marketplace, which is called More. This is where we want to power and support artists, art, all kinds of creators, retail as well, not just whales. We believe, therefore, NFT culture is entertainment, and entertainment is a killer feature. Speculation is not just a bug, but a feature here. Last but not the least is, of course, Stepin. I often say that our digital sneakers got people moving way more than even physical sneakers, and I've spoken to people at Nike and Adidas. So, yeah, cheers to Stepin. And while we're talking of innovation and how Stepin got real utility to NFTs, there's stuff happening, yes, albeit in small numbers. So whether it's in music with Rihanna, whether it's in ticketing with Coachella, whether it's virtual fashion with Artifact and Nike, whether it's physical art, and who's not heard of Banksy, or fundraising, or education, where universities are putting degrees on NFTs, or in fact, I heard in India in a state where the police complaints were being put on NFTs to avoid corruption. So yeah, there are stuff happening from LVMH to these small-scale initiatives, which soon will find broad applications. I mean, that's how internet started. At TCP had been a small defense lab, and today the penetration is close to 90%. Talking of penetration and adoption, yeah, everybody is feeling a little bit glum till a few weeks ago. Of course, not Solana community anymore. Yeah, we love the price action, of course. But yeah, so if you zoom out a little bit, the market, the famous 4-year cycle is not just true for price action, but it's true for key indicators and activities and metrics. So the 4 special ones are the market cap, media activity, developer activity, and startup activity. And if you look at these numbers, especially the dev activity, across 4 years, not just double-digit growth, but 84%. I think this is the picture that matters. So please, 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 innovator stage, innovation, Solana for devs and builders. Builders of all the people, builders are the ones who should not be discouraged by markets, by highs and lows. I was just actually debating with one of the senior people here. And market cycles are true to humanity, to human nature. What goes up must come down, what is down must go up. Whether it's automotive industry, whether it's financial industry, whether it's any industry, whether it's geopolitics, whether it's countries, whether it's wars, whether it's life itself, life and death. Cycle is a fact of life, and history time and again has taught us crypto is just a blip on the horizon, just a drop in the ocean. So cycle is, if it's cyclical, it's true, it's good. That means it's not pumped up, that means it's not fake, that means it's organic. So let's embrace the cycle. What is truly heartening is that despite all these cycles, there are just double-digit growth looking forward to us. So let's build, let's get prepped up, let's build utility, let's build sustainability for things that are going to last. So what to build? As you can see, we believe we're betting on the fact that crypto's consumer moment is coming. Yes, it may take time, but we need to build. So whether it's gaming, virtual worlds, messaging, fitness, education, collectibles, fintech, shopping, most of the apps either are going from Web 2 to Web 2.5 model or dipping their toes in Web 3. So Sugartown, for example, with their free mints already, I think the last they minted 3,200 ETH, so about $5 million, not bad for a free mint. So that's a game from Zynga, right? So if AAA games are entering and doing so well, that's good. That's not competition, that's expansion. That's what we need. And that means that people are paying attention. And not to mention, of course, BlackRock and the liquidity these guys are going to bring. So, with that being said, if crypto's consumer moment is coming, are you guys ready? Because we at FSL are, this is our suite of portfolio. With StepIn, with our DEX door, with our NFT marketplace more. Fairmint is our retail platform on more for creators. Smack is our AI-powered anti-cheat tool. Yes, here is of course a star game. Wait for it in December. It's already breaking records on Polygon. It's the volumes are more than top 5 collections put together. And last but not the least, GNT, our AIGC tool. So yes, we are ready. Thank you for listening here. Cheers. Bye-bye.